You write a risk assessment for a scientific report to show your reader that you have been as safe as possible and that you've thought about it and you've put in place mechanisms or ways to prevent you and other people and other things that you're using from either getting damaged or getting hurt. When you write your risk assessment, the easiest way to do is in a tabulated format. So this is the easiest version of risk assessment. There's many complicated versions. This is the easiest one. First, you need to have 3 columns, tabulate it. First column is your risk column. So that could be a hot Bunsen burner, or that could be the risk. The issue with that risk is that you can have burnt hands. Because the way that you're using your Bunsen burner is that you potentially are using you're moving and manipulating that Bunsen burner, and you need to move that Bunsen burner as it's going or as it's still hot. Then you have the potential, or the issue, the concern is that you could burn your hands in some way. The way to remove or mediate or mitigate that risk is through some type of modification. For here, this is nice and easy for this hot Bunsen burner. You either don't move it and you find a different way to maneuver something else and not a hot item, or you might want to find some tongs or some hot hands, which are some rubber gloves that we have in the science lab. So it's very short and sharp. Some of them you might need to explain if it's not self-explanatory, but most of the time I, as your reader, need to know, and as you are doing the experiment, I need to know that you're going to be safe and you've identified a number of risks. Now they might be very simple and a bit boring. You know that you're not going to do this, but hey, on the off chance that you might have glass and it might break, because it is just glass rather than plastic, then the issue is breaking of glass, broken glass, and then how are you going to modify how you do it? You're probably not going to use plastic, because that would be silly. Why? When using a glass beaker is perfectly fine, as long as you find a way to use that appropriately. So you might find that you're not moving that beaker, that it needs to stay in the middle of a bench rather than on the side. So there's a number of modifications you might need to write in for each risk, because you are doing a number of differences to keep you safe based on a whole big risk.